There are many, many reasons why you may have known Nancy Joann Krakenberg-Flanary, Ph.D. She did a lot of things in a short amount of time. She taught dancing and sang in her choir. She loved to swim and she loved to travel. But she was also an entrepreneur, an inventor. She appeared on the radio and had dreams of podcasting. She was a chaplain and a teacher and an advocate for children. She was a lifelong student and attended many schools throughout her life. This lady had a PhD, she could do some nursing, and she could drive a bus. She even took a few flying lessons.
In 1971,
she married a man named Thomas Flanary, and with him she had a son named Zachary. Nancy and Tom were a tremendous team together. In the early 80s, they started a company called Thunder Mountain Dog Supply. And at nearly the same time, they invested in a company called Crawford Door Sales. Both companies would be owned by Tom and Nancy, and both companies grew and grew. Nancy chose to spend most of her time at Thunder Mountain Dog Supplies. She had trained dogs for most of her adult life, and her and Tom raised and bred Labrador Retrievers for 2 decades. Nancy put everything into TMDS. It combined her passions of dog training and being of service to her fellow man. She loved to solve people's problems, and she loved to light up the potential of those around her, canine or human. Nancy was born in Spokane, Washington. Her mother, Verna, and her father, Max, had 3 other children. Max the 4th, Dennis, and Kathy. While all the siblings seemed to care deeply for each other, Nancy and Kathy were lifelong friends and allies. They stuck together as kids, they had each other's back throughout high school, and they even had a double wedding. Thunder Mountain began as a traveling show concession. They traveled with the AKC through the Northwest. They sold everything from leads to agility jumps to books and food. And Nancy's dogs always seemed to bring ribbons home. Then in 1985, Thunder Mountain settled in Spokane and was a brick-and-mortar store. Thunder Mountain grew from a 900 square foot building to eventually 9,600 square feet and 2 locations. Nancy was so hands-on that she collaborated with the owner of Old Mother Hubbard Dog Food Company to help create the formula for wellness, and she was the first company in the West to have it. And she turned her retail company into a retail wholesale company. After 26 years of Thunder Mountain, Nancy changed her pace. She worked full-time on her inventions, which included a seatbelt system for dogs that she called Snap and Click. She sought a patent for it, and she looked to develop it. And it was by no means her first invention. As her sister Kathy says, she always liked to MacGyver things. Nancy was a bookworm, and she wrote furiously. She studied all the time, and yet she still managed to be there for all of us. She's touched a lot of lives because she had the courage to go out and live a life. She was funny and strong. She was brilliant and silly. She was supportive and forgiving. She sought adventure and knowledge, but she was really just fun to sit and hang out with. The world isn't the same without my mom. I think she inspired a lot of us, and I had the amazing fortune
to call her my mom.
Drag me to die.